How's it going, everybody? This is Radishhead, and welcome back to Upland Analysis. It is that time again. The Bronx is releasing in the next couple of days. It is Monday the 6th on the day that I record this. Tuesday the 7th is when the first neighbourhood is opening for a stress test, and then on Wednesday the 8th the full city is going to be released in vanilla mode for all of your minting needs. As I mentioned in my battle plan video, for those of you who have never experienced a city launch in Upland before, a vanilla launch means that we have no idea what the collection's going to be before the launch. And obviously the collections are where everybody wants to be minting the most, because you'll get a juicy bonus on your yields for your properties if they're in a collection, and they just generally have a better markup. So really we want to be hitting those collections, but we don't know what the collections are going to be. Well, that's why you've clicked on this video, isn't it? And I'm going to try and channel some of the research that I've been doing on the Bronx, and hopefully I'm going to hit a couple of collections here and help you all out. So instead of going down a list like I did for Nashville, I'm going to actually show you the map of the Bronx, and I'm going to actually show you physically on the map where I'm going to be minting, because I think they've got a good chance of being a collection. I want to preface this by saying I don't know where the collections are going to be. I think it's extremely unlikely that all of these will be collections, but I also think it's pretty unlikely that none of them will be collections. So best of luck. Let's start. I've kind of split my list into two tiers. So in my battle plan video, I was saying that you want to be minting in the most popular areas first, that everybody's going to be minting in, and then as soon as you can, when everything starts getting minted out in those areas, I want you to jump to a different area. Don't just cut your losses. Even if you didn't get anything, you need to move. You need to keep moving. Otherwise you're not going to get anything, I'm telling you. So tier 1 are those areas that I think people are going to be minting. They're going to be trying to rush towards as quick as they possibly can, and I'd recommend you also do the same if you want the best chance of getting a collection. And I've also got some tier 2s, which I think are less likely to be a collection, or they're likely to be a collection, but they're not going to be as in demand. There's not going to be as much competition for them. So you can kind of jump to those areas when the tier 1s get minted out, perhaps. That's how I'm going to be handling it anyway. So every time people talk about the Bronx, one street always comes to mind, and that is, of course, the Grand Concourse here. So this is so I'm zoomed in on the Bronx at the moment. This is the train station that everybody's going to be getting off. The Grand Concourse is, if you can see my mouse, it's this long road that goes right through the center of the Bronx. The reason that I think this is a good chance of being a collection is because it is just a key commercial hub of the Bronx. There's so many fantastic shops there, lots and lots of businesses there. It's probably the most famous street in the Bronx. So even if it doesn't make a collection, I think it's fair to say that it's probably going to be among the most valuable streets in the Bronx. The next one actually intersects the Grand Concourse, and this is two roads that natives of the Bronx kind of consider them one road, and that is Pelham Parkway and Fordham Road. So if you look at my map through here, this is Fordham Road, this blue one that's going along here past the station, and then it turns into Pelham Parkway, which is the kind of like the yellow one, which goes all the way across. So just like the Grand Concourse goes north to south, Pelham Parkway and Fordham Road go east to west. And there's a similar reason why I think they've got a good chance, is just because it's right in the heart of the Bronx. Lots and lots of commercial opportunities there, lots of businesses, lots of food. There's actually a lot of named properties along Fordham Road as well. You've got, look at this, Salsa Con Fuego and Panda Express, the library. All of those are going to be minted up very quickly, and I don't know for sure which one I'd prefer, whether I'd say Fordham Road has a better chance of being a collection or whether Pelham Parkway does. They could both be. I don't know. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on. So if you don't get your hands on the North-South Grand Concourse, maybe you can get your hands on the East-West Fordham Road and Pelham Parkway. Okay, next on my Tier 1 list, I don't have a road or a neighbourhood for you. It's actually murals. Now, in my Nashville collection review video, I noticed that murals had made it again as a collection. And I said, if I come across another city where, while I'm doing the research, it says, oh, there's famous murals in this city, I'm going to put it on my list because Upland clearly has a thing for murals. Well, guess what? The Bronx actually is kind of known for murals, it turns out. So, actually, I'm going to load up a picture. Hang on. As you probably know, the Bronx, being part of New York City, kind of developed with this sort of graffiti culture in the 70s and 80s, and that kind of transitioned into a lot of really impressive murals which are still around the city now. So you can see in this article here, like just a few of them, but a lot of them have kind of like a hip hop connection as well. Like just look at these. So. And that there's lots and lots of them. Look, the Bronx, that's a fantastic mural right there. So I'm not going to tell you exactly where they are. I'm not even sure if I'm necessarily going to go to them. But I'm telling you that the players who are super smart, I can almost guarantee you that they are looking for murals in the Bronx. So if you want to be super smart and you really want to do your research and target specific properties with murals on them, I think that's a pretty good bet. My next tier one is similar to what I was just saying before, is actually anything hip-hop related in the Bronx. The Bronx is renowned as the birthplace of hip-hop, so any building that is something to do with the history of that, or places where that music is produced in the current day. So I don't know, like hip-hop recording studios or the houses of iconic hip-hop artists, any of that, I think there's a really good chance of there being a hip-hop collection. And my final tier 1 must mint first list is actually a collection that already exists. You might not know, but in Manhattan, we've got the Broadway collection. And Broadway, of course, in Manhattan, very famous, runs through the entire city, but it actually runs out the top of Manhattan. And this is the Bronx now. You see this, Broadway. It doesn't go on for very long, but yeah, that's the Bronx. So technically, you could own properties on Broadway in Manhattan and the Bronx separately. Will Upland make a collection out of the Bronx Broadway as well as the Manhattan one? I think there's a pretty good chance, and I think a lot of other players could be speculating on that as well. So if you want to gamble on that one, then you've got to be quick, because I think Broadway is going to be a very highly speculated area in the Bronx. Now I'm going to be moving on to the areas that I consider tier 2. So in other words, the areas where I'm going to be jumping into and minting as soon as I've gotten something out of the tier 1s, hopefully. Because I feel like these areas aren't going to be quite as competitive, but they're still going to be pretty competitive. And I imagine all of these are probably going to sell out on minting day. So don't wait up too long if you want to get in on these. And hey, if you think these are tier 1s instead of tier 2s, I'm not going to stop you. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Belmont, which is actually a neighbourhood. And I obviously don't have the neighbourhood lines right here, so I can't guarantee it's going to be a neighbourhood. But if it is, I think it's going to be a pretty popular one. It's actually known as the Little Italy of Bronx, and Upland have a history of including different ethnic areas as collections within the city. So we've had Chinatown before, we've had Greek Town, we've had a Little Italy before as well. I think there's a good chance we could get a Little Italy or a Belmont collection in the Bronx. So if you want to know where that is, here's the station. Little Italy / Belmont is bordered by Fordham Road to the north, it's bordered by the Bronx Zoo to the east, and it's just in this square area here, and especially 2 streets to look out for. So I think the whole of Belmont is a good bet, but two streets in particular that stand out to me based on my research are, if I just zoom in a little bit, Belmont Avenue, which obviously is, what the neighborhood is named after, and also, if I zoom in a little bit more, Arthur Avenue is apparently like the absolute quintessential Little Italy street. And you can even see here, like Dominic's and Roberto's and Zerotto Nove. I'm not Italian. There's an Italian church here. There's a lot going on in this area, so and it's right near the station as well. So I think it's a good bet that this area is going to be pretty highly speculated on as well. Next area I want to talk about in the Bronx is the Yankee Stadium, which if you're zoomed out, it's located right where my mouse is circling right now. So we're just going to zoom in on this. I don't know if I'd say it's necessarily likely to be a collection, but I can say that any properties surrounding the Yankee Stadium or in that general neighbourhood that the Yankee Stadium is contained within is probably going to be quite a popular area, regardless of whether it ends up as a collection or not. People in Chicago have been speculating really heavily in Wrigleyville. Wrigleyville's not a collection, but it is the location of a baseball stadium. So, the fact the Yankee Stadium's here, I think it's a really good place to be minting properties if you get the opportunity. The next area that I think is worth a good speculation is Riverdale, and this is because I think Upland quite often like to have some of the more affluent areas as collection properties. The properties are just generally a little bit more expensive to mint, which Upland quite likes as a barrier to becoming a collection. And it's just generally quite a prestigious part of the city. And if you want to know where Riverdale is, it's actually, if you zoom in on this northwestern part here, it's between Broadway and the river. So as you can tell, that's probably going to be quite a highly desired area to set up base, regardless of collection status. And I think there's going to be a lot of speculation here. The architecture here is really nice. Yeah. I'm definitely going to be trying to mint some properties here. Maybe if I am unsuccessful in getting something in Broadway, I'll just hop over to the west a little bit and just grab something in Riverdale, because I think that's got a good chance as well. We're almost done. Okay, the next area that I want to talk about, and maybe this is wrong putting it in tier 2, maybe this is a tier 1, but basically any property that is on looking this huge area of greenery in the middle here. So that's the Bronx Zoo and the New York Botanical Garden, both huge tourist destinations. Everybody's heard of the Bronx Zoo. So all of these properties that are kind of on looking this area of greenery here. You've got Webster Avenue here going along the top, and then back down along Bronx Boulevard, Bronx Park. All of these, Pelham Parkway. Oh, I've already talked about that one. So, yeah, all of these areas surrounding that great big green section in the middle, right near the station. People are going to be buying that quickly. So keep an eye out for that one. If you see any good deals there, grab them, because, yeah, it's a popular place to be. Another street that I think has a good chance of being a collection is Westchester Avenue. Based on my discussions with people who have connections to the Bronx, Upland have recently started moving away from what's considered, internationally iconic about the city, and more towards what is popular now, where are people shopping, where are people eating, where do people want to live. And Westchester is a street that is really up and coming, and just the way that it looks, to me, it just kind of feels like it could be a good collection contender. It's quite long, and it kind of spans across quite a large area of the city. Look, so I've just zoomed in. Westchester Avenue starts here. If I just zoom out just to show you where that is, right here, quite a good spot where my mouse is circling. And if I just zoom in, look, it kind of bends up here. Lots of fantastic shopping opportunities along here, and it goes along here. It intersects this this highway here, goes across the bridge. Look at this, more and more. You can see all of these named properties on here. Look, you've got lots of supermarkets, library, pizza. Just going along Westchester Avenue, Taco Grande, Joe's Place, and then it Does it keep going? Is this still Westchester? No, it's not. Okay, so it stops at this roundabout. The Parkchester Station House. So, yeah, I think just something about that street just feels right to me, and I think I'm the only person who's called this one so far. So if that one makes a collection, I'm going to be super proud of myself. But based on the collection analysis I've done so far, that one, Westchester Avenue, it just feels right to me. So I'm going to be definitely minting a few properties on there as well. And finally, for my Bronx collection predictions, I think, and I don't even know if this is going to be in the game or not because it's quite a long way out, but City Island is somewhere that people love to talk about. And let's be honest, regardless of if it's a collection or not, if City Island is in Upland, people are going to be wanting to pay all sorts of money for that. People just love islands. I've noticed this. I think part of it is about the treasure hunting, because imagine if you had a treasure over here. If you owned like loads of properties in City Island, you could like max all of your send fees and people would have no choice but to pay them because you're just sort of on this little island out in the middle of nowhere. But also, look, it's got some really iconic like diners and bistros and stuff all along the central bit. It's not a huge area, so yeah, not too many properties here. It's a bit different. I think this could be an exclusive or a rare, depending on how many properties make it in here. It's going to be an absolute pain to get a Block Explorer over here. I don't think this one's actually going to be minted very quickly, but that's only because it's going to take people ages to get an Explorer over here. But the second they do, I think people are going to be watching the Block Explorers going across the ocean, and then when the first person manages to mint something, that they're going to sail across the sea and they're going to mint like Paulo Fino or something, and then everyone's going to like launch onto this poor restaurant and just start minting everything. That's going to happen. Because yeah, it's not just me. I reckon it's not just me who's speculating on this area. I think City Island is definitely going to be a place to watch in the Bronx. So yeah, there you have it. That is my list of collection predictions for the Bronx on Wednesday. Best of luck to you all, and I hope you found that really useful. If you did, I'd love it if you gave me a like on the video, and if you want to see similar videos to this in the future, including my Bronx collection reveal analysis, once we get the collections known, then please give me a subscribe as well if you don't want to miss that. But until next time, I'll see you then.